we're going to go through this list from Indeed of 11 strategies for better job hunting. I mean, of course, it's somebody who probably writes for Indeed, and it's a Indeed career guide. So I guess they have this whole guide. I think I've heard of it before, and they just provide these resources. Yeah. LinkedIn, has a whole lot of like social media aspects that they offer too. Anyway, 11 strategies for better job hunting. It says here are strategies to consider during your next job search to find the best role for you. All right, number 1, networking. This is funny because I made a whole video yesterday about networking. Now, OBS is stupid, so the microphone wasn't working even though I've attached it to OBS before. So that video no longer exists because it turns out I was mute the whole time. So sorry, but I'll sum up how I feel about networking here, which is I haven't had success with it. Even when I've built a good relationship with someone over time, twice this has happened. I'll, genuinely build a good working relationship with them for like months, at least like 5 months. And like we worked well together. They see I do good work, all that good stuff. And I asked them if they can, send my resume around, see if anybody, is interested, see what happens. And both times I basically got ghosted by them. They didn't even say like, oh yeah, I shared it with whoever, So for me, just anecdotally, it hasn't worked. And when I've done the things like reaching out to people on LinkedIn, like people I know less, and have been like, hey, I am Nyako, I have these skills, or I would love to just talk to you, about your job. Like I've followed multiple different, I don't want to say all the different, strategies, but multiple different strategies to network with somebody, and none of them have worked. I mean, the closest I've gotten was going to a career fair and like getting an interview because of a resume I gave there. Like after I was able to really connect with one of the people there, but I didn't, move forward after the first round of interviews anyway. So, I just didn't do good enough, or I didn't have something they wanted, something like that. I don't remember. I think it was just like really competitive, It is what it is. But yeah, like networking, people will swear up and down it's what gets you a job. So far, in my experience, that hasn't been the case. You want to know my little slightly crazy grandpa advice? Not even it's not even crazy. It's just what I think got me the job what got me the internship and the job that I've gotten was actually taking the a couple years ago especially, they would have those one-way interviews. People still talk about them today, so pretty sure they're still a thing. I know AI interviews are still a thing now. I've never done one of those. But I would do the one-way interviews. I didn't know like other people would actually just nope out if they saw that, but I did it every time. And of course, like they weren't successful every time, but literally the internship at IBM and the job that I got um, after that, like, I feel like something that really helped me was just the fact that I put up with, like, those one-way interviews, because like less people will go through those interview processes. So if I make it to just that round, I'm basically, able to just put up with the weirdness. And, like, since I had been practicing interviewing, answering those questions, I that's kind of something that really scares me about this job search, is actually getting to the interview phase. I mean, my job provides outplacement services. Hopefully, part of that is interview coaching, because I'm definitely going to need to practice a bit before getting into interviews again. But yeah, like, I did those HireVue interview jobs, those HireVue interviews, and those, I would say, from experience, my job search strategy would be, just keep applying and do all the stupid assessment slash HireVue stuff they ask you to do, because a lot of people just get, no matter what their situation looks like, unless their situation might be really dire or they just don't care, you'll apparently be really surprised about how many people don't do those HireVue interviews, or, similar silly little assessments, yeah, like, I still haven't heard back for the one company that asked me to do the personality test, a Myers-Briggs, and one other one. So they, for whatever reason, I guess, don't like ENFJs, or they found someone who fit the qualifications better. I haven't got rejected yet, granted, but yeah, I just went on a whole tangent on the first one. Okay, so the next one is already looking interesting. I haven't read the subtext, but the next one is online job boards. And I mean, I'm going to laugh if it's them just advertising themselves. But I mean, that's what I've been using. Maybe they're like going to talk about smarter filters, but online job boards. Now that most postings are digital, it's easier than ever to find the type of job that's right for you. You can search for specific job titles using keywords, and online dashboards, like Indeed, allow you to share your resume and cover letter directly with an employer. Apply on the site. I mean, in my experience, I don't think it's as much of a black hole to use like Easy Apply. I mean, so far I've been rejected still, but I don't think, I mean, even when I'm, using like the online job application system, I still don't hear back. So, it's not like it makes that huge of a difference. One thing I just randomly thought of this, one thing I try to hold on to is that I do technically have almost 2 years of like experience. It's just so far been hard to like really, I guess, apparently tie it effectively to, some other job, because there's just not many, if any, technology compliance jobs. And, that's where my work was. So I need to really, I've been trying to make the case of like transferable skills for jobs that my skills closely align with. But anyway, this might be a somewhat old post. I mean, it was updated March of this year, cause I kind of hope there's some point or some mention of AI and how that's impacting things, because online job boards, I mean, as much as people shit on them, that is how I've gotten my work so far. Again, networking, even with people I've truly, like developed a long-term relationship with, hasn't worked for me. So, it's anecdotal and I've only got 2 examples, but it's what it is. Right. The next one is recruiters. I know, some people will like just sit and wait for recruiters to come to them. I don't really have that luxury right now. And it just hasn't happened. Even like spam. I've gotten automated messages about applying for master programs, but we'll see what they say about recruiters. I've connected with a bunch of recruiters and sent hey, I'm looking for work in this area, can you help me? Do you have any leads? And so far that's been crickets too. But let's see what it says. Many companies use staffing agencies to fill their vacant positions. Oh man. So recruiting agencies, I've been trying to, get a hold of the right people with one recruiting agency. I don't want to get in trouble for mentioning who they are, but it's a pretty big one. And one other one had a meeting with me, but they're only filling roles for like administrative assistant type roles. That's just what their company focuses on. And that's not really the work I want to do. So, there's that. But yeah, like I know that the first offer I got when I was looking for work for college, when I was looking for work after college, the first offer I got that I actually accepted was a contract role in Chicago, and kind of a miracle because I said that I could, start in 2 weeks, and I lived in Michigan at the time, and they actually, believed that, and I was able to start when they needed me to. But yeah, I will mark that I'm interested in contract roles, and I will apply for a contract role if I meet the qualifications. But even then, I haven't seen too many contract roles, and I haven't gotten them. But all right, to keep reading this point, it says it says many companies use staffing agencies to fill their vacant positions. That's why working with a recruiter can be helpful during your job search. After you have an initial meeting with them, they connect you to jobs that fit your skills and career goals. I don't know. Everyone's struggling, like, especially now to find work. Some people have definitely found interviews faster than others, and I'm like, what are you doing with your resume? But recruiting agencies just haven't gotten back with me, So I'm just kind of sitting here like, yeah, this hasn't been the case. It says, keep in mind that recruiters work on a commission, so make sure you can negotiate a fair wage and benefits plan before accepting a job offer. Yeah, like way back when I first learned about recruiters in my job search, it was important to keep in mind that you essentially are going to get a lower rate for you than you would as a full-time employee. And part of that, at least, is because, the recruiter ends up... Actually, I think that was a myth. The recruiter's pay is, like, separate, but I don't know. Like, it might still impact your ability to get... it might still impact how much you're getting paid because they're still taking from the budget for that role. I don't know. I don't know if, that was once true and not so true anymore. But anyway, recruiters haven't worked for me. And speaking of things that haven't worked for me, referrals. I think one person was willing to like put their name down as like a reference as far because they worked at the company that I was applying to, um, but which is really nice of them. But that I got rejected, no interview. So that didn't work out. So this so far has been a bust for me as well. It says some companies use employee referrals to hire new staff. That's because they trust their employees' opinions, which can help streamline the hiring process. Like, I get why referrals are used, especially if someone's worked at a company long enough that they've proved they can be trusted. But it's still kind of like it still definitely feels like an unfair thing, for job seekers because you could be doing the networking game right and have never met somebody who works at whatever company you're applying for. Just like, you know, but you can do your best to learn to make a resume and, have basically all the information anybody can have to make a good resume. And so I think that's a fairer system, just in the sense that, like, everyone has that even playing field, even if it makes things harder for the recruiter. I'm sorry, but, like, I don't think the referral thing is fair. I mean, I get that it makes life easier, but I just think that, again, when you actually think about it, it's not something that, as much as people will tout networking, at the end of the day, I mean, not everyone will have, not everyone will have a chance to encounter with somebody who works at whatever company, because networking is just a game of chance. Like, it's all about, you never know who knows who, and some people are just better positioned for certain companies than other people. So again, that just doesn't come off as fair. I kind of think companies should move away from this, because even if you do networking right, you might never meet somebody who works at whatever company, or you have to spend a lot of time just, building up like people, who can provide you referrals instead of actually applying for jobs, Like, if someone actually made, I'm sure there's guides where people's, claim like this is how you get a job through networking. But yeah, I mean, I keep trying to network because, people keep saying that's like almost the only way to get a job, especially today in this job market. But I don't have a lot of faith in this system. Um, Next one is job fairs. Like I said, this is the less conventional as far as like compared to applying to jobs. This is the only method that's like given me any good results. It says job fairs are an excellent way to learn about job openings. Job fairs are often organized by the industry, although some have companies across multiple job sectors. The funny thing is, like, you're encouraged, at least for like college job fairs, to actually research the company yourself, like, and what roles they have. Like, the ones Handshake would organize, Handshake is like a job board that like multiple colleges and universities use. Um, but Handshake, like they would help you, by having the information like easy to access, but it was still expected, at least recommended, that you study yourself before the job fair. But anyway, it says before you attend a job fair, research the employers, that will be represented there and the kinds of job openings they have. Bring printed resumes and be prepared to have a mini interview with the company representatives. Oh man, we're gonna waste trees here, so you might get an interview. Even if you like, do small talk well, like there's no guarantee you'll get, an interview, let alone one that actually helps. But definitely people get jobs from job fairs. Then it says afterward, follow up with an email. Sure. Um, okay, now it says company websites. I have a couple of times tried to look up local companies and look through their website for openings, but it feels even less efficient than going on a job search site because you're literally they have filters so you can look for your job title, but you're hopping between different sites, which just feels less efficient. But yeah, that's my initial thought on company websites. But it says some companies choose to keep their job postings on their website. It's worth doing an internet search of companies within your industry to begin looking at their websites. It's hard because a lot of positions are available in a lot of places in a lot of sectors, like software engineer. So I don't know, that just seems you're not going to run into a lot of gold that isn't on other job search sites. I mean, there will be, I'm sure, but there definitely is. It's just, again, I mean, I don't know, there's something about jumping between all these different sites, seeing if they have anything just feels less efficient than going somewhere that colligates different sites and finds one, finds a good number. Even then, even when I'm using these kind of sites like LinkedIn and Indeed, it's still hard to find jobs that actually match my skills. So why would it make sense for me to look through different company sites? I'm definitely down to hear other people's thoughts about what I'm talking about here, as always. But yeah, that's where I am right now with that. Next one, cold call with an email feels even less efficient than going to their site. But let's see. Although this method tends to be less effective, you could choose to reach out to a company directly, even if they have no current job postings. Email continues to be the most common form of cold calling. In your job inquiry email, share a little bit about yourself and why you're interested in the company. Attach an updated version of your resume and link to your portfolio if applicable. I don't know. I saw advice on Reddit to basically do this, but not even, personalize it to companies. Just send your resume and whoever will forward it to HR. And it's I did that with a couple of companies, and most companies don't have really any email. You kind of have to Google and get some random email, their press email, for news organizations to use. But yeah, that doesn't really work. At least, anecdotally, the few times I tried. Next is internship. Internships are a great way to learn, to learn things, yeah, and to build your resume. Whether you are at the beginning of your career or just want to learn new skills, some internships may transition into a full-time role. So always do your best work and look for opportunities to take on more responsibility. Internships also offer a great chance to expand your professional network and gain valuable referrals. I think I looked at internships when I graduated, and a lot of them definitely wanted you to be they wanted you to already work um sorry, they already wanted they wanted you to have graduated college. Oh, they wanted you to have not graduated college. Sorry, I was then got distracted. um I was thinking about how for my internship, I knew my internship was during COVID, so I got to work from home, and I knew that, and eventually they were going to return to office, and the internship was based somewhere where, like, it was kind of, like far-ish from like cities, let alone like ones with like good public transit, and that's really something that was important for me to continue to live by so that I could actually get around and do what I wanted to do. Um, so yeah, internships, no. Like, I mean, I might like look at them from time to time, see if there's actually opportunities that are welcoming to somebody. I might try that tomorrow or Monday. But yeah, like I know when I graduated college, they were looking for these internships were looking for people still in their junior year of college, but I'll try that again. Um, this next one is walk-in opportunities. Walking into a business. Oh my god, this is like the boomer. Oh, just take your resume to the business. Walk into businesses and asking for an application is a great way to find jobs in retail, okay? At least they're being honest. Restaurants, hospitality, and other service industries. When you do this, ensure you're dressed appropriately for the type of business and ask politely if the company is hiring. Be prepared for the possibility that they will want to ask you the interview questions on the spot. I think I did this at Subway or like multiple places, including a Subway, and they said like apply online. So yeah, typical, response. Um, yeah. Um, you're gonna get a lot of apply online, except maybe small businesses that are too small to necessarily have a website, or at least not like a job application online. So sorry, I'm playing with my hair too much. Not playing, trying to detangle it. Um, but yeah, like that's next is newspapers. Now we're getting real boomer. Says while no longer a primary place to look for a job, the help wanted section of a newspaper can be a good place to look for local jobs in your community. Trade newspapers and publications can be a great place to find trade or niche jobs. Uh, yeah, I will be honest, I haven't looked through a newspaper. I don't think ever, to be quite honest. Like, I've not truly read a newspaper. But yeah, maybe if someone's in the trades, that might be a place for them to look. You're welcome. Uh, Next one is volunteering. Um, I actually told this person who delivers my groceries because I like subscribe for like Walmart's yearly grocery delivery service because it comes with like free shipping for products. Uh, like he suggested this to me, like volunteering, uh, and like networking, essentially networking that way, like spending enough time around people that they recommend you for positions. I was actually looking at nonprofit postings, and a requirement a lot of them have was like having a passion for the cause. And I think, one way to demonstrate that is like volunteering with whatever organization if they offer that, so you can like show your passion for whatever cause. It says volunteering at an organization is one way to increase your chances of getting a job there. This is especially true for nonprofits that may not currently have the funds to hire you right now. If they see you as a hard worker and someone integral to the organization, you may be more qualified than a paying job does when a paying job does open up. I'm sorry, I cannot read for shit. Not out loud. Even if you don't get a job there, having volunteer experience looks good on a resume, expands your network, and helps you learn more about the roles you want to pursue. Yeah, like, if you can, volunteer for like corporate type positions at other companies, like, and you want to kind of use that to like learn about the position that way and see what it's like to work in that kind of role, that's a good idea, as long as you know you're not getting paid, like, yeah, I think that works. I don't know, I'm so stuck on applying for jobs, the old fashioned way. Even if it's harder than, because, like, again, when I've tried these other methods, they end up not really working. So that's why I've stuck with this. But yeah, I definitely want to try the internship route, see if I find anything. I mean, it would come with some time where I'm not making a lot of money, that's some potentially, depending on the internship. For the internship I actually had, it actually wasn't bad at all how much I made, and it might be tight, but I could live even here on that money, so like, that wouldn't, especially because internships only last a few months, so it's not a bad, like, not a bad thing to look into, at least at all. Right now it's around the time that internships, I'm sure, started being posted. Probably have already started to be posted. I know for software engineering this would be late, but like for something like this, it's probably for internships that are not, software engineering. It might, I don't know. Maybe not for tech, maybe it's already too late for tech. I don't know. I know tech's doing a lot of layoffs, so who the freak knows? I'll look at internships, at least give it a little bit of a look and see how things are and see where that goes. Anyway, I think that's it. Hopefully the mic worked this time. It looks like it did. Thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe and hype the video. Comment down below, what job advice slash approaches, what job search approaches work for you versus not. Thank you for watching. Also, hi.